Seema, the think tank initiative enters its last leg right now. Yesterday we mentioned, and you were here, you're at the PAC campus, that it's been a learning experience, particularly for not-for-profit think tanks like Public Affairs Center. So, what aspects of this journey with PAC has stood out for you?
So PAC is an interesting organization within the think tank community. Now, as you know, think tanks are in the policy making space. They enable decision makers to make policies based on data and evidence. And PAC plays a very important role because it has focused on citizen engagement and bringing the voices of the communities back to decision makers. It's a type of data that is not easily accessible, and therefore PAC plays a fairly critical role in the decisions that are made for the people and by the people, by the elected representatives. And I find that the most interesting aspect of PAC's work so far.
Okay, so now, we're entering the last leg. It's been a long journey and a fruitful one for, I'm sure, the think tank initiative. Of course, it has been a fruitful one for Public Affairs Center. But what sort of challenges do you foresee for the not-for-profit think tank community on the whole?
Yeah. So think tanks work in very contested political spaces. So I'm sure that I don't need to tell anyone about how, you will have to continue to battle for those spaces, keep them open for the time to come. But I think given the TTI's learning experience, the one thing that we've learned is you have to have your eye on the ball around sustainability at an institution like PAC. And I don't just mean financial sustainability, because that's absolutely critical, but also sustainability in the way that you do research, in the way that you communicate with your audiences, be it policymakers, be it communities, citizen groups, etc. So I think that a big challenge will be to continue to have to reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself in a time when resources are becoming scarcer for the kinds of work that you're doing. But have an eye on the ball of the future. I think you're going to have to reinvent yourself more often than you have done in the past. And those are some of the challenges. But I think they're not just challenges, they're also opportunities for PAC to continue to do the great work in the bridge building that it's done between governments and citizens.
Right. So that's interesting, because my next question was going to be on how do we've learned a lot, right, during this journey. So how do we continue to amplify the research work that we're doing right now? And I'm sure you've also seen the kind of changes that have been made strategically as well within PAC, especially concerning our research work. How do you think we can amplify this, the impact of the research work that we've done so far?
So scale is an important question given the size of the country that PAC works in. And taking research to broader audiences has always been challenging for most think tanks. So obviously the use of social media, as you continue to do, is a great platform to do that. But also getting citizens involved, making them your amplifiers, because that's the target audience you had, using social technology, using physical technologies and social media. But using both citizens to amplify your research and asking them what is useful to them would be helpful. But then obviously also engaging with the government system, because there is no better way to scale your work than to put it through the government system and see that change happen on the ground.
Exactly.
Would be the way to take your research forward.
Great. Lastly, we have learned a lot. What is it that IDRC in particular and the think tank initiative has sort of learned from all the think tanks that they have interacted over the last few years?
So it has been an immensely privileged experience for all of us at IDRC to learn about think tanks, work with them on this journey, help them think through their own strategic vision and mission, see them reinvent themselves. I think what we've learned most is about the importance of the ecosystem within which think tanks work. Often we forget in our day-to-day programming that think tanks are not individual standalone organizations. They work within an ecosystem that require a lot of support systems, and strengthening that is just as equally as important as strengthening think tanks. And I think that's been a big lesson for us, and we will continue to work on it with IDRC.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Seema.